Hi everyone, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and if you've been watching my videos lately, you know that I've been playing around with the development of a pour type called the Concentric circle pour. That's at least what I'm calling it for right now. And it's a version of the in-pot swirl where I'm pouring in rings with different colors around the perimeter of the pot. So playing around with that still, and I keep thinking, how can I really tweak this every time? It was the last couple times the soap kind of accelerated, so I didn't get the kind of pour that I wanted. I still got a design that I'm completely happy with, but because the soap was not fluid, it didn't go the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to use Nature's Garden's Loving Spell, and as you know, that's a dupe of Love Spell, and it smells great, and I know that it doesn't accelerate, so I'm really going to use that this time. I don't have anything bad to say about the fragrances that I used before. They just kind of went a little faster than I thought they were going to do, because what was that one that I used? It was called Rainforest Gardenia. Smells awesome. So I definitely will use that again, but probably not in an intricate pour. So I have a little color tutorial for you. If you want to see that, that's on this little eye information button right there. If you want to see that, if you want to bypass it, just continue watching. And so let's get on with the soap making. Okay, I'm soaping at about 72 degrees right now. And this is my oils, kaolin clay. My oils include some shea butter. And I've got some sodium lactate in there too. So what I'm going to do is blend that all up together first before I add my lye. Get all the air out of my blender. And the kaolin clay helps to lighten the batter, and it adds some other properties too. So that looks good. I'm going to add my lye solution. And let me pour. Oh, actually, I would like to use my fragrance in this soap, so I think I'll add that. And it's the Loving Spell from Nature's Garden. And the orange colors really darken that fragrance, so you got to take that into consideration too. Okay, let's stir that a little bit too. And once again, I'll start by pouring this first. I just want a small amount, actually smaller amounts supply faster. So I'm going to start with what will be my white. I'm not going to get that in there yet. Almost a cup. We'll see where this goes. Some pink. And the orange. I think I need a little bit more of all those colors, because I just want a little bit of the deeper pink. About half a cup. And I really don't have enough room, so what I'm going to do is have more white than anything else. And I'm going to just do that in my original mixing bucket. I'll save myself washing one more thing, but this is a little bit larger of a batch, so that kind of threw me off a little. I'll get my white made, and it's okay if it's a little off-white again, because everything else is yellowy and orangey, so it's going to make this part of the soap look white in comparison. Let's leave that around. Boy, this smells really good in this room. That looks good. That's the orange. This lighter pink. That's a great pink. And then the dark pink. And I'm going to stir everything as you've seen me do, just checking for the consistency, get some extra bubbles out, scraping down the sides. It's tempting not to do this step. Sometimes skipping the step when the soap is accelerating is another reason why we get bubbles in accelerating soap, but mainly because solidifying soap holds more bubbles also. Yeah, that smaller amount will thicken up more quickly. Fill this a little too full. Okay, anyway, things are nice. And we're going to try this concentric circle pour again. I'm kind of determined. I'm going to use my Lazy Susan. Get a little bit on the bottom here first. Start off with my major color, which is this orange. And I want to get almost all of it. I think I'm just going to pour this cup full in 2 tries. So I'm trying to keep this from getting really busy like the strawberry soap. I had a lot of white, so I can do that in 3 pours. Do a little bit of this deeper pink. And why don't we just spiral that into the center, since we are experimenting in it anyway. This is the rest of the orange. Save the rest for the top. Let's get all of this one in there. The rest of the white. Save the scrapings for the top and the rest of this bright pink. There. So much happier with this when the fragrance does not accelerate, and I do happen to know that Loving Spell really behaves itself. So the other thing I'm going to do is not go back and forth with the pour. I'm just going to pour in the center. Look at that beautiful swirl. And going back and forth adds to its busyness as well. And I can finally do this because it's very liquid. It's a little thick, you have to go back and forth, and so I haven't been able to do that. And I think these colors really match the fragrance. I'm always amazed that when you do these scrapings, you think everything's mixing together, but as long as you're just carefully scraping and not mixing it around, it does not, number one, turn to mud. It's going to be hard to turn to mud with these colors because they're not complementary, they're not going to turn to brown, but you'd be surprised how much this process right here doesn't even mix those colors. You'll still see a differentiation in the striping and swirling. Okay, so let's get this white in there first. For the top, Let's try to get a nice line. And then let's get this orange in there. Get this bright pink in there. It's a little bit more thick, so it's not going to make those lines as much, but that's okay. We have a variation in the pour on top. And lighter pink. I really like this basic pink by Rustic Essentials. It's kind of like a, not quite as light as a carnation pink, but it's a really nice pink. If you want something a little more deep in color. And finally, I made a mica drizzle with, it almost looks like a tamarind color. It's a mix of gold mica, sparkling gold mica, and some really red mica. And it gives a really interesting look. So let me do some swirling first. I'm showing you what I like to do. I like to go one way with the soap first. So if we're going to do that swirl, it's nice to get those ribbons of soap poured lengthwise first. Here's that orangey gold color. Gold is kind of like a yellow, kind of like an orange. So combined with the red mica, turns out to just kind of enrich and brighten up that color. Okay. And then I'm going to go this way. Alright, and this one really is a very feminine fragrance, so I think I'm going to add some glitter, brighten it up, and then I'm going to follow that with a spray of alcohol just to settle that in and try to prevent some ash. I don't usually get much ash, but maybe it's because I do this. So this is my finished, they poured really well, so I'm really curious about this one, as you might be too, because if you've been following along, I've been trying to get this concentric circle pour perfected a bit. I've learned a lot along the way, so I've had fun with this project, and let's bring you back for the cut. Alright, let's see how this one did. Let me cut off the end piece first. That's not what I was expecting, but it looks like a little sketch marks on it. So let's see what happens as we go into the soap a bit more. I think it'll be different on the very center where the pour actually happened, but I love the color combination. Looks very floral and fruity. And there's that top with the golden red mica drizzle. It's very flowery. So as I suspected, in the center where I did the actual pour, it has more of these little wispy swirls. And I'm still interested enough to play around with the swirl. I think it has the possibility of coming up with something more and more interesting when I figure it out. I like that little bit of that deeper pink right there. Another thing I'm working on is getting one of the smaller doses of soap, a deeper color, but just use a little bit of it. And this one reminds me of a swan somehow. There's a deep pink again. I guess I'm motivated to try new things because I really like the surprises that show up when you cut it. I always have. I'm wondering what your biggest motivation to make your soap is, whether it's purely the profits or you really love the process. Do you like playing with the colors? Do you like playing with your recipe? Is it all of the above? I like when swirls like this happen. It's really noisy outside here right now because we have the rock and roll marathon just down the hill, which means we're kind of boxed in too. I have one more cut. If you really enjoy my videos, I invite you to subscribe, and I really am encouraged by the comments that I get. And I'm on, Vibrant Soap is on Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Been taking a lot of pictures and posting them on Instagram because I think that's what keeps me going as far as taking in beauty and wanting to create something. When it accumulates in my head, here's the top. And as the helicopter flies overhead to get a good look at the marathon, I say thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye everybody. But kind of pouring the colors in the what is it called, the concentric circle pour, and it's in essence it's a. So let's see how that works out. And I'm using what's that called? I'm using a fragrance.